Let's figure out what my top 10 books are of the year. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you've never been here before, my name is April and I'm gonna tier rank all my 5-star reads to figure out what my top 10 are. I kind of have an idea of which books I want in there, but not all of them. I just kind of want to revisit some of these 5-star reads because they're so good. So let me get into the tier maker site. I already made a template. This is a public template if you want to try it out for yourself. It's pretty self-explanatory and easy. Okay, so we have our list. I'm really keeping this super simple. Top tier is going to be my top 10. I only can have 10 in this spot. Everything else kind of goes into honorable mentions because I do think most of these are still 5 stars, but there may be a few that I want to re-rate that might not be 5 stars now that I've marinated on them for a little bit. So maybe we'll start with those first. Right away, I think one of the ones that I'm gonna put in re-rate is actually, I think his name was Alec's book. I don't think this was entirely a 5-star because for the sole reason that it's Alec's book, but there sure wasn't a lot of Alec in it. So that's the only reason why I'm gonna re-rate it. I still love this whole series to begin with, so there's that. Let me see, any other ones? I think I'm also going to put A Duke Won't Do there because I don't remember a whole lot about this book other than the fact that she was like a reluctant bride of his and he treated her so badly when he first got there because he was just like, I don't want a wife and all that kind of stuff. He didn't think he was good enough, that kind of thing. But I don't remember most of the story. So I definitely think I'm gonna drop it down to a 4-star. I remember it being good. Same can be said for The Earl Met His Match. I don't think that one's gonna be, I think I'm gonna drop it down to a 4 as well, just because I don't remember it at all, really, other than I think the hero is deaf, and there was a bit of a language barrier with them, so. Okay, let's see if I can pull out some of my top 10 books. Just want to narrow some of these down. Oh, wait, one more. I think I'm also going to re-rate Don Juan Velociraptor. Listen, Don Juan Velociraptor was a great Lola Faust book. It was everything I wanted from the Lola Faust dinosaur verse, okay? The dinosaurs finally had agency, they had human thoughts and emotions, and yeah, it was a great one. It is a 5-star Lola Faust, but I think overall I'm gonna re-rate it to a 4 just because there really wasn't much to it. Like I wanted a little bit more from it, so there's that. Okay. Right away, I'm pulling out books that I've talked about a million times that we know are gonna be in the top 10. Like, we know A Ship of Bones and Teeth and The Crown of Oaths and Curses. They're somewhere in the top 10. So I'm gonna pull those out right now. I also want to pull out Serpent and the Wings of Night. And this is hard. This is hard because I feel like I'm choosing favorites and I don't want to do that. Okay, let's pull out some honorable mentions. This series, still 5 stars, but where's the other book? Oh, here it is. Still 5 stars. I don't think it's gonna be in my top 10. Loved them. Oh, this one is also so a top 10 for sure. This Stacy Reid is gonna be an honorable mention. Riding the Headless Horseman, delicious, but I don't think it's gonna be a top 10 contender. Also, Stuffed by the Were-Turkey. I had so much fun with that book. I still love it. It is still a 5-star book. I just loved it. The Fey Princes also, I think, still a 5-star. It was a great conclusion to that whole Vicious Lost Boys series, but I don't think it's gonna be in my top 10. Oh boy. Okay, I forget what this one is called. Not Another. It was something about the worst romance in the world. It was like a satire, but it was so good. It was better than the book that it's a satire from, if that makes sense. Like I DNF'd that book, but I gave this one 5 stars. This one was great. I need to read more Cassandra Gannon's books. I think Sword Heart is also a top 10 contender. That one was just so cozy and sweet, and I absolutely loved the hero and heroine. Ugh, the talking, like not a talking sword, but just like the shifter sword. I loved it. We're gonna put all 3 of these, the Make Games series, I think in honorable mentions. It's hard because I had so much fun with that series this year. It's definitely a 5-star series. It's a Why Choose series, but really what makes this series is the audiobooks. They're all duet narrated and they are so freaking good. If you read this series, read them on audiobook for sure. That is totally the way to consume this candy. It's great. This is getting so hard. Okay, Wolf and the Wildflower I think is also gonna go to the top, as well as No Getting Ogre You. This sweet ogre just has my heart. He's such a cinnamon roll, and I just loved the fact that he was like trying to feed her bones because he doesn't know what humans eat. It was just like, it's such a delicious little story. Escape the Island of Eldritch Lust. That one was so weird and so interesting. All the like the monsters in it were so interesting. I really love things that surprise me, and that's what I loved mostly about that book. It is not a romance in any way, shape, or form. It is a horror with erotic elements, and yeah, definitely not a romance, but it was so interesting. And then the choose your own adventure style of it, it was wonderful. Calamity. Calamity literally is the book I've been looking for so long. I have been looking for a sci-fi space opera romance for so long, and I definitely got it with Calamity. I'm so glad my husband bought me this book, and I ended up absolutely loving it. I live for this book. It's so high action, there's so much banter. It's great. How many do I have in there? Okay, I have 8. I can only put 2 more. Okay. Oh my gosh. This is hard. Okay, I'm not gonna put another Carissa Broadbent up there, and I don't think Slaying the Vampire is as good as the other 2, so we're gonna go with that. Oh, this is so hard. The Secret Lives of Country Gentlemen. This also is just such a lovely male-male historical romance. If you want to read a male-male historical romance, definitely try that one. I just love this couple so much. Definitely still a 5-star, but I don't know that it'll make my top 10. Okay, the Duke Gets Even as well. The only reason I don't remember all of it, but I remember the lake scene. I remember, you know, them getting together, and I really loved it. I thought it was a beautiful story. Same thing with One Duke Down. That one I read in January, and I still pretty much remember most of it. I love their little hidey hole on the beach, and then them just getting to know each other in it. It was so good. Okay, this is so freaking tough. Okay, this is so tough. Mating the Mantis. Only because that book is the Shakespeare of weird. Like, it is the top tier weird book, and I have talked about that book all year long. It was one of the first books we read for Weird Ass Romance Book Club, and Maggie and I are just like, we cannot get enough of this book. Just every little thing in it was just so good, so good. A Fate Inked in Blood. I think I'm gonna put it in honorable mention. It's not out yet. You guys can't read it yet, but do please read it in February when it comes out. I read a very early copy of it, and I think it is a very slow moving book, like a slow moving fantasy, but there's so many elements of it that are so good. And if you want to get a kind of an idea of the feeling of it, of like the names and the mythology, definitely watch the shows The Last Kingdom and Vikings. Both of those two will give you a good sense of the feeling of that book. So watch those shows before you read the book. I highly recommend it. Oh, and then there were 5. Oh my gosh. I can only pick 10. I can only pick 10. I want to put all of these in my top 10. Like all of these I want to put in my top 10. That's the problem with this. Criminal Intentions, we're gonna put an honorable mention. Again, another male story. Super slow burn, but it's like actually like a crime drama type of story. That's very episodic. There's so many episodes. In fact, there's like a second season now too. I've only read, I think, the first 2. This first one was great. Highly recommend it. They've solved crime murders in the LGBTQ community, that kind of thing, and they are like grumpy and grumpier together. Highly recommend. Knockout 2, I think, is gonna go in honorable mentions. I absolutely love Sarah McLean. I'm the biggest Sarah McLean stan, but I don't know that this book is gonna make my top 10. I absolutely love Tommy and Imogen. Like, this is a perfect historical romance to get into. Even though it's the 4th book, like, it is perfection. It is honestly perfection. I love them so much. Gosh, this hurts my soul because the heroine's name is April. But get the off my lawn. Also going into honorable mentions. Yeah. April in this book, so good. I think the one thing is they talk about the gap in her tooth a lot in it, and it did kind of bug me, but it's still a 5-star. Like, this is still a 5-star rom-com historical romance. Absolutely loved it. Oh my gosh, these 2 were so good. They're so good. Let me look at my top 10 already, okay? Do these books beat out anything? I don't know. I really don't know. Oh boy. Okay. I'm gonna put the Book of G in top 10. Gaston retelling. Gaston, like, I just loved his reluctant hero-ness of himself so much. I love that he's a total asshole. Like, honestly, he is all out for himself, and he's just like, he likes this girl kinda, so he's like, I guess I'm gonna help her. Like, for some reason, it just cracked me up. And I think that book is so underrated. I just love Lily Archer's writing, and yeah, oh gosh. Okay, that means Hotel of Secrets, Diana Miller, this book also. So underrated, so underrated. Hotel magnate. She's trying to get back into the limelight to save her hotel, and everything just keeps going wrong. Someone's trying to sabotage her, and then she has like the most wonderful relationship with this virginal hero. I just like, he goes to the library to like figure out how to please her. I just like, it was so good. And then she shot at, like there's so many things that going on in this book. It's so good. And it's set in wintertime. So it's just so good. Kills me that it's not in my top 10 right now, but I like the books that I have in my top 10. Let me see if I need to do some moving around now, because I think I do. I think The Crown of Oaths and Curses is gonna be my number 1. That book is so amazing. I was stunned and shocked when I read it. I was so immersed in the story. I felt the weight of these 2 characters so much, and I just absolutely lived for it. I cannot wait for book 2, and I just devoured this book. It's really long, and there's absolutely no romance in this romantasy. Like, it is a romantasy. It was so good. So good. A Ship of Bones and Teeth, I think is definitely going to be my number 2. I've talked about that so much and it's just so vivid in my mind still. Definitely one of my favorites. I think I'm gonna put Mating the Mantis as number 3. It was right. It was for me. It was made for me. I laughed so hard my face hurt. Like, that's how good it was for me. It's absolutely a terrible book. It is absolutely a terrible book. I think though there's like a quote in it that says like something about like he was like, I don't even remember, something about a combine. It's hilarious. Six Scorched Roses, I think is gonna be my number 4, only because Lilith is my girl. Like, she's my STEMinist hero of the century, and I absolutely love that. I love that she's trying to cure her whole village, and she just goes up to the most dangerous person she can find and is like, hey, I need your blood. Here's some roses. Like, I loved this book, and it's a novella. Like, you packed so much into a novella, Miss Broadbent, that it was just delicious. And then I will go with Wolf and the Wildflower. Oops, let's go with this one. Then I will go with Wolf and the Wildflower. What a beautiful historical romance. What an absolute beautiful historical romance about a man who has been living in the wild for years, and he comes back to try and immerse himself back into society. And she is a girl who is pretending to be a boy since birth for reasons. And he sniffs her out, literally sniffs her out, and only will talk to her. And the things these two get into and the relationship that builds between them, it's so beautiful. It is so beautiful. I think I'm just gonna move the Book of G up a little bit. I think I liked it a little bit more than Calamity, even though this is really difficult. Like absolutely ridiculous, these books. This is so hard to find my top 10, but I'm making cuts, okay? I'm making cuts. I'm making really good decisions here. Editing April here, I made a big mistake. A big mistake. And I don't really want to redo this whole video, but I do want to say that I have a book that I gave 5 stars to that I missed. And it is a top 10 book. But now I don't want to redo my top 10. So we're just gonna go top 11, okay? Butcher and Blackbird, we missed her, and she is absolutely a top 10 book this year. Top 11 book this year. I absolutely loved it, and I can't redo it. So, just know that this list is now a top 11, okay? Sorry about that. I screwed it up. This is so hard, but I just want to be cutthroat. Like, okay, so Book of G, you're going up above Calamity. I think this is my top 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These are my top 10 books of the year. Number 1, The Crown of Oaths and Curses. Number 2, A Ship of Bones and Teeth. Number 3, Mating the Mantis. Number 4, Six Scorched Roses. Number 5, Wolf and the Wildflower. Number 6, Serpent and the Wings of Night. Number 7, Sword Heart. Number 8, No Getting Over You. Number 9, The Book of G. And number 10, Calamity. I'm very happy with this list. I absolutely think the majority of these are still 5 stars. I gave 35 books 5 stars this year out of 176. So I think that is a great list. What do you guys think? I definitely want to put others in the top 10, but I only have 10 spots, and I think these are the books that I like the most. Let me know what you think of my list today. What books made your top 10 list? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please subscribe. It really helps out my channel. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye.